Hello and welcome to this Becoming a Better Director bite-sized webinar from Companies House. This is the first of 4 short webinars to help you to understand the responsibilities of becoming a company director. In today's webinar, we will quickly look at who we are and what we do. We will then be looking at accounts, which alongside your confirmation statement are one of your annual filing requirements. We'll take a look at the types of accounts you can file, how to file them and when to file them. And we'll then take a quick look at the late filing penalties, what they are and how you can avoid them. Then we'll have a quick look at some of our tools and services. I'll then be joined by my colleague Esme, who will hopefully try and answer some of the questions that you've raised today. So we've only got half an hour, so we'll quickly move on. So Companies House. Companies House is the registry for limited companies in the UK. We are an executive agency sponsored by BEIS, the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, and our role is to register and dissolve limited companies. We collect a certain amount of information and data from those companies, and we make that data available to the public. Hence, we drive confidence in the economy and make the UK a great place to start and run a business. The data on our registers informs business decisions, supports growth and combats economic crime. And you can access the company register online using your PC, laptop or smartphone, and that's all free of charge. Okay, so quickly onto accounts. After the end of its financial year, every limited company must file annual accounts and a company tax return to HMRC. Now, the tax return is quite separate to the accounts you file with us at Companies House, but we mention it here as it is possible to do a joint filing with both organisations. Now, accounts normally consist of a full balance sheet, a full profit and loss account, a comprehensive set of notes to support the balance sheet and the profit and loss account, a director's report, and an auditor's report. Now, companies that qualify for micro entities or small or medium-sized companies may be able to produce a set of end-year accounts that are simpler and contain fewer elements. And we'll look at that as we go through the types of accounts. So there are different types of accounts, and what you file depends on the size of your company. Now, we're going to look at 4 types of accounts, and that is micro entity, abridged accounts, full accounts, and dormant accounts, and we'll take a look at these in turn. So first, we're going to take a look at micro entity accounts, and many of you watching today will probably fall into this category. Now, to qualify for micro entity accounts, you must meet 2 of the following 3 criteria. Now, your turnover must be not more than £632,000. You must have a total balance sheet asset of not more than £316,000, and you must have not more than 10 employees. So that might fit quite a lot of you listening here today. Now, if you're looking at those figures and thinking that's me, then you do qualify as a micro entity. And this means that you can prepare simpler accounts that meet statutory minimum requirements. You can send only your balance sheet with less information to Companies House, and you can benefit from the same exemptions available to small companies. So if that's you, you will be a micro entity and you can file micro entity accounts. The next type of accounts are abridged accounts. Now, to qualify as a small company to file abridged accounts, you must meet any of the 2 following criteria, and that is a turnover of not more than 10.2 million, a total balance sheet asset of not more than 5.1 million, and not more than 50 employees. So again, some of you may fall into that criteria as well. So if you are a small company and you're going to file bridged accounts, then you can use the exemption. So your company's accounts do not need to be audited. You can choose whether or not to send a copy of your director's report and profit report profit and loss account to Companies House, and obviously you can send those abridged accounts to Companies House. So if that's you, again, you will qualify to file abridged accounts. The third type of accounts is full accounts. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, if you are filing a full set of accounts and you are audit exempt, then it is possible to file jointly with Companies House and HMRC. And as I said previously, your accounts will consist of a full balance sheet, a full profit and loss account, a comprehensive set of notes to support the balance sheet and profit and loss account, a director's report, and an auditor's report. So if you're filing full accounts, you can do those with us and jointly with HMRC. And the last type of accounts we are going to look at is that of a dormant company. Now, all limited companies must deliver accounts to Companies House, whether they are trading or not. Now, a company is considered dormant for Companies House purposes if it has had no significant accounting transactions during the accounting period. A significant accounting transaction is one which the company should enter into its accounting records. Now, this does not include filing fees you've paid to Companies House, any penalties or late filing late filings you've paid to Companies House, or monies paid for shares when the company was incorporated. Okay, so they're the four types of accounts you can file with us. How do you file them? Well, the easiest way to file your accounts is to file them online. Now, online filing has built-in checks to help you to avoid errors and rejection, and it costs less to file most documents online compared to paper. When we receive a document filed online, we'll send you an acknowledgement almost immediately to say that they have been received. It also enables us to process and place the documents on the public register far more quickly than paper documents. This means you'll know much sooner whether your accounts have been accepted via another confirmation email. Now, you should only send paper accounts if your company cannot file online. If you need to file your accounts on paper, you should send them to us well before the deadline. This will give you plenty of time to correct your accounts and resend them if they are rejected. So don't leave it to the last minute. You should also consider using a guaranteed next day delivery service, but we can't accept postal delays as an excuse for late filing. So really do make sure that you file your accounts in good time. Now, saying you can file your accounts online, to file online, you will need to have registered for our online filing service. Now, if you haven't already signed up to online filing, you will need to register. Now, to do this, you'll need an email address and a password. You will need your authentication code. Now, your authentication code will have been sent to your registered office address on incorporation. So check all the paperwork that you have been sent from Companies House. If you still can't find your authentication code, you can request a new one, but it does take about 5 days to actually send you a new code. So make sure that you do this well in advance of any due dates. And we send your authentication code to your company's registered office. Now, in the first series of our Directors' Responsibilities webinars, we covered this in webinar 1, which you will find a link to in the handout. And it's also on our YouTube channel. So if you want to have a look at that, then you can go back and do that. We also have a how to register for online filing tutorial on our YouTube channel as well. So go to YouTube, search for Companies House, and all our recordings will be there for you to watch. But wait till this one finishes before you go there. So filing your accounts. Most of you will have visited our website, www.gov.uk/Companies House. And from the home page, you can select the File Your Company Accounts tab. This brings you the screen which you can see in front of you now. Before you start, you must have your accounts approved by your company directors, and you should know the type of accounts that you are going to file, be it abridged, full, dormant, etc. Now, if you're not sure, then it'd be worth seeking professional advice. But if you are happy that you have all the correct documentation, then all you need to do is select the Start Now tab. This then asks you what type of accounts you have prepared. Okay, so it will prompt you to select the right type of accounts for your company. The options, as we looked at earlier, micro entity accounts, abridged accounts, full or dormant accounts. And as we said earlier, if you're not sure, then you might want to consult a professional. For this webinar, we will choose the micro accounts service. As you can see, you will be reminded of the requirements you need, and you can go to the registration page from here. But if you have everything to hand, select the File Micro Entity Accounts tab. This will take you to the page where you need to enter your email address, your password, and your authentication code. So have all that to hand. As an alternative, if you are in your company page on the register and you have a File for this company option, it will appear on your overview screen and you can select that to file for your company. But you will still then need your email address, your password, and your authentication code. You then follow the screens to enter your data, and once you have submitted, we will send you a confirmation email. Now, for further guidance, I've already said we have a set of YouTube videos showing you how to file micro-entity accounts, abridged accounts, full accounts, and dormant accounts. So take a look at those before you submit your accounts to us. Who can file? Well, most companies can use the online filing service, and on the screen in front of you, you can see the types of companies that can register and file online. Companies with company numbers that are all digits, with prefixes NI, R0, SC, etc. It's also worth noting that you can't use this service if your company has been dissolved. So why should you file online? As well as the ease and speed of filing online, there are additional benefits that many of the screens will not let you submit until the fields have been completed correctly. So it's a bit of a safeguard that says you can't actually forward that document to us until those fields have been completely correctly. Now, because of that, you're less likely to have a rejection, and you'll get confirmation that your documents have been received and when they have been accepted. So it's a much easier and simplified process than filing them by paper. So the argument being, if you can file online, please do. So when do you need to file your accounts? The directors of every company must prepare accounts for each financial year, even if the company is dormant. Now, the easiest way to find out when your company's accounts are due is to go to our Find Company Information page on our website and type in your company name, okay? So basically, you go to the front page of our website, you would select the Find Company Information, and then you can locate your company by either the name, the company number, or the director's name, okay? Now, that will bring you up a list of companies that should be similar to your own. You select the one which is yours, and then on the overview screen, you will see all the due dates, which you should note in your diary. You should also sign up for email reminders, and we will then remind you when your important documents are due, and we'll have more on that in just a moment. Your accounts need to be filed 9 months after the end of your financial period, unless you are a new company, in which case you have 21 months from your incorporation date to file your first set of accounts. Now, even though this timescale is generous, do not underestimate the amount of effort required to get your accounts together, finalized and filed. It's not something you can do in 5 minutes, and leaving things to the last minute means you are likely to be rushed and make more errors. It's important to note that by delivered, this means an actual handing over the document to company's house, not the posting or the handing to a courier. This again is why it's easier to file online. Quickly take a look at late filing penalties. Now, failure to deliver accounts on time will mean that you incur a late filing penalty, even if you are just 1 day late. Now, this is an automatic penalty, and we have very limited discretion not to collect a penalty. The purpose of the late filing penalty scheme is to encourage you to file on time. The late filing penalty scheme was first introduced in 1992, so it's been around quite a while now, and that was in response to an increasing public concern about the number of companies that failed to file their accounts on time or at all. So that's why it was brought in. How much will the fees be? Sorry, just gone past that one. Now, it very much depends how late your accounts reach us will determine the amount of penalty that you will receive. If you are not more than 1 month late, it will be a £150 fine. More than 1 month, but not more than 3, it will be £375. More than 3, but not more than 6, it's a £750 fine. And remember that if your accounts are more than 6 months late, a £1,500 penalty is applied. So it really is important to get your accounts filed with us in time. And in all cases, these fees will double if you file your accounts late in 2 successive financial years. Now, if you don't file at all, we may assume that the company is not required and it could be struck from the register. Okay. Now, all the monies that we get in from late filing penalties are returned to the Treasury. We don't keep them for ourselves and have a lavish Christmas party. All it is more administrative work to us. So please do make sure that you file your accounts on time. How to avoid one? Well, the obvious way to avoid a late filing penalty is to file on time. Find out when your accounts are due and mark them in your diary. Like an important birthday or an anniversary, make sure you know it's coming up. Plan early, get organised, and make sure you file in good time, not at the last minute. Make sure you have all your company details, the email address, the password, and the authentication code. And remember, it can take a few days to receive a new code. So if you've lost your code and you need a new one, make sure you do that well in advance of any due dates. Now, if you're using a professional, which many of you will be doing, hopefully, check they have all the necessary paperwork, including your authentication code to file on your behalf. As I said, sign up to email reminders so we can remind you in good time when your accounts are due. Now, it only takes a few minutes to sign up for our email reminder service, and it's completely free. Just sign into the Companies House online filing service, select Activate e-reminders from your company overview screen, click Add an email address, enter the email address you want to put there, and you can have up to 4. So that could be different directors, your company secretary, if you have one, your accountant, etc. So there's less chance of you missing any important dates. Click the link in the email that you receive from Companies House to validate your email address and agree to the terms of operation. You'll then be sent a further email when you've successfully joined the reminder service. And it really is a good service to join to make sure you know when your important dates are due. Just quickly to cover a couple of the other things we've got. We have a new online learning tool for directors, which takes you through the responsibilities and annual filings. And the link again is in the handout. The tool takes you through your responsibilities as a director and shows you how to make your annual filings with links to the relevant parts of the Companies House website. And it also incorporates our how-to videos. So a very useful tool that you can have a go. And again, the link is in the handout. Email updates. Again, it's separate from our email reminders. Our email update service will inform you of any changes happening in the world of Companies House. So changes in laws or regulations, and you know what's happening then and when, separate to the email reminder service. So again, it's worth signing up for that as well. Other services, we have a Director's Toolkit. This again takes you through your responsibilities as a company director. It provides guidance on how to file your documents and make sure that you comply with that regulation. So again, the link you'll find in the handout. So please download that handout before we finish today. And that really concludes the presentation today. So what I'll now do is have a quick look at some of the questions that you've been sending in today. And I'll ask my colleague Esme if she can join me to answer some of the questions that we've had in. Esme, are you there?
Good morning, Gary. Yes, good morning, everybody.
Hi there. Okay, so a few of the questions we've had in today. So question one, I think, yeah, this is probably quite one which we get quite often. Can I use an accountant to do this for me, basically file my accounts?
Yes, great question. I think you touched on it earlier, Gary, that lots of people use a professional, such as an accountant, to file accounts on their behalf. But obviously, you have to bear in mind that it's still your responsibility as the directors to make sure that those documents are filed correctly and on time. So if you are using an accountant, just make sure they're aware of your filing deadlines.
Brilliant, thank you, Ez. Right, okay, another one I think we've got in here. Yeah, we mentioned late filing penalties, and we've had the question, is it possible to appeal a late filing penalty?
Yes, so you can appeal late filing penalties, but they will only really be successful if you can show that the circumstances have been exceptional in terms of why you couldn't meet that deadline. Unfortunately, the registrar has very limited discretion not to collect a penalty. So it may be applied when an unforeseen event happens at a critical time. So, for example, a fire destroying your accounts a few days before the deadline. But your appeal won't be successful if it's just based on sort of examples like your company is dormant, as dormant companies still have to file accounts, or if you can't afford to pay the penalty, or your accountant was ill. Unfortunately, examples like that won't be successful. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've relied on an accountant and they haven't done it for you, unfortunately, it's still your responsibility.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, it's worth stressing that, isn't it? It's the director's responsibility and not the accountant's. Okay, another one we've had in here is when registering for an online filing account, can the authentication code be sent by email?
No, unfortunately, at the moment it can't, and it's mainly down to security issues, meaning that we're not able to send the authentication codes by email or tell you it over the phone, unfortunately. So you do have to request a new one and get it sent by post to your registered office address. I know during sort of the COVID pandemic, we did introduce a temporary service so that postal authentication code can actually come to your home address instead. And I believe this is still in place at the moment. But yeah, so just make sure that if you do need a new authentication code to file online, that you do it well before any of your due filing dates, as obviously delivery by post can take longer, and especially during busy peak filing periods as well.
Thanks, Az. Okay, I think time is running out this week. I think we've time for just one more. Are email reminders and email updates different services? I think I covered this, but if you want to just say again.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think they are often confused as they have a similar name, but both are free services offered by us at Companies House. Email reminders you sign up to via the online filing platform, and they will be your reminders for when your accounts and your confirmation statements are due. But anyone can sign up to the separate email update service, which is more like a regular newsletter via email, and that has updates on all things Companies House, changes to company law, informative blogs that might be useful for you, as well as sort of any other guest content from useful people in relation to your company. So yeah, both are free and both can be signed up to online, and I believe there are links to it in the handout as well, Gary.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ez. I think that's all we've got time for. We're dead on time at the moment. So all it remains for me to say is thank you very much for joining us. Now, if we haven't got to your question, We will get back to you independently in the next day or so, as soon as I can get round to it. Please download the handout in the next minute or so before we end. Now, remember, we will send you a link to the recording of the webinar in the next day. And please sign up for the next webinars in the series, which will be with Business Support Helpline, the Information Commissioner's Office, and then it's back with us. So sign up for next week's, and then you can sign up for the one after if you so wish. Now, after we finish today, you will be asked to complete a very short survey. So if you can just fill that in for us, we'd be very, very grateful for your feedback. And we are dead on 11 o'clock. So thank you, Ez. Thank you to everyone who's been answering the questions in the background. And thank you to you for joining us. And goodbye. We will see you next time.